This time I would like to call this meeting to order. Will everyone stand to please salute the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Burrows, please give a roll call.
Mr. Gallo.
Here.
Mrs. Kozer. Trying to get her on her phone. Dr. Laughlin. Here. Mr. Merle Elmusic.
Here.
Mr. Petracca is on the phone. Mr. Repko.
Here.
Mr. Toman.
Here.
Mr. Urban.
Here.
And Mr. Merle Music.
Here. This time I will open the floor up for a hearing of visitors, part 1. This is an opportunity for anyone in the audience to speak about any item that is on our agenda tonight. There will be also time at the end of the meeting to discuss any other concerns. There is a 3-minute time.
Please leave your message for 7-2.
I see nobody.
Wait, I thought I was waiting for you to get Ms. Kozer on there.
Hi, Josh Cunningham, Marguerite Lake Road. I'm going to talk about Resolution 85 and 86, and to get there, I'm going to show you my personal top 3 that a school board needs to be concerned with. That's student health and safety, academics, and then everything else, such as stadium improvements. I'm going to throw some numbers at you. It's been 1,271 days since the capital improvement plan began with the letter that Mr. Thomas sent. It's been 404 days since the final community forum on the capital improvement plan, my first ever time speaking at a Greater Latrobe meeting. It's been 315 days since this board was sworn in. It's been 307 days since we started our tactical pause. Since then, we've had 9 regular school board meetings, 9 committee of the whole meetings, 9 facilities operating and planning meetings, and 2 board retreats. In that time, there has been no meaningful motion on anything dealing with the junior high in terms of safety improvements on a building that was built in 1974, nor anything that would greatly improve the academics of said building as well. A couple other numbers to throw at you are, it has been 287 days since negotiations began with your teachers as compelled by PA State Code, and it's been 76 days since their contract has expired. I know that you were elected in what you think is a mandate. However, if I would have went to the voters last year around this time and said, after 9 school board meetings and 11 months, we did not have a teacher's contract, we don't have any meaningful improvements to any buildings for the safety and health of our students, nor to change anything academically of any note, but we had spent $5 million on turf and presumably stadium improvements, I'm not so sure that that was the mandate they sent you here with. I'm not against stadium improvements. I think the optics look really bad. I think a lot of people in this room also think the optics look pretty bad. So table the stadium improvements tonight. Let's get this contract done, and let's come back and make some improvements on the top 2 instead of worrying about the third.
Any other community comment? Closing of hearing of visitors, part 1. I move for the adoption of Resolution 76, approval of the minutes.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The minutes are approved as recorded. Going into the solicitor's report, Mr. Naples.
I'd like to report that we did have an executive session prior to this meeting at 6 o'clock tonight. Among the matters discussed under personnel issues were the personnel discipline issue involving a custodian and a personal discipline issue involving an aide. And we had brief discussions on the personnel matters that were on tonight's agenda and are being voted on at this meeting. Under my solicitor's report, I recommend that you move on resolution number 77, the approval of employee personnel matter number 2, of the 24-25 school year.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Ankles. Going into education and planning, Mr. Repko.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask the board to move on resolution number 78, approve Ignite Educational Solutions Agreement for 2024-2025 school year.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes as listed.
I ask the board to move on resolution number 79, approve UPMC Western Psychiatric Hospital Train-the-Trainer Crisis Intervention Program.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
I ask the board to move on resolution 80, approve Special Olympics Pennsylvania Unified Champion Schools Memorandum of Understanding.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
Ask the board to move on resolution number 81, approve overnight and out-of-state field trips as listed.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Repko. For the finance committee report, I move for the adoption of resolution 82, approved of the treasurer's report.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes. I move for the adoption of resolution 83, approved payment of bills.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes. I move for the adoption of resolution 84, gifts, grants, and donations. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes. The next Finance Committee meeting will be Tuesday, November 19th, 2024, at 5:30 p.m. in the Senior High School Library. Facility operations and planning, Mr. Goppel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ask the board to move on resolution number 85, authorization of Memorial Stadium Improvement Project.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments?
Yes, I have to agree with Mr. Cunningham. I believe that doing a stadium project before we put the kids and the educational piece in is to table this until SHP gives their presentation next month, and then bring it up after that, so you see what money we're going to be spending on the building. So that's just my thought on it.
Dr. Lockman?
I would like to address a little bit what Josh had said. As far as the negotiations, and certainly we all agree on both sides that things are to be discussed publicly. But I will say, one of the negotiators had to leave, and we had to bring aboard somebody new for the teachers. And that slowed things down a little bit. I feel there's been no bad faith on either side on getting it done, and that there hasn't been any problems in getting it done, other than there was an emergency that happened that was out of everybody's control for a negotiator that was well-known and well-trusted and really brought a lot to the table. And so that, I feel, is more what the sticking point has been than anything else. As far as the doing what's priority, I would agree that the roof on the junior high is priority over the turf. However, with the changing of the board and everyone needing to be brought up to speed, and those who didn't have all the background knowledge needing to be given more information, we've had presentations on the roof. Everyone has to be caught up to make those fiscally responsible decisions. The turf isn't priority, but the turf was an easy, this is what needs done, and everyone could understand it, this is what needs done, and can the majority agree, although I know we won't be a no tonight. So I think the optics, while they may not be what we would like them to be, I don't think we can wait on everything because we're waiting on one important thing. We still have to move forward on other parts of the school and the district and how it affects the students.
Thank you, Dr. Larkin. Any other board comment? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
This resolution passes as listed.
Ask the board to move on resolution 86, approval of architectural services proposal.
Are there any questions or comments?
Second.
Oh,
Second.
I thought I heard a second. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Oh, sorry, Mr. President. Next facility.
This resolution passes, that was my bad. I was writing the note down.
You go through right after that.
We're-
Next facilities operations and planning committee meeting is Wednesday, November 6th. It's 4:30 p.m. at the administration building. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Jockel. There is no report this evening for student activities and recreation. Going into community relations, Mr. Irvin.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask the board to move on resolution number 87, approve school resources officers agreement between Greater Latrobe School District and the City of Latrobe.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes.
I'd like also the board to move on resolution number 88, approve memorandum of understanding with the City of Latrobe Police Department.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
And also would like the board to move on resolution number 89, approval of a memorandum of understanding with the Pennsylvania State Police.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes.
Okay, the next Greater Latrobe Parks and Recreation Commission meeting is Thursday, October 17th, 2024, at 4:30 p.m. at the Latrobe Municipal Building. And that is to extend my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Irvin. Going into the Westmoreland Intermediate Union, Mr. Tillman.
Yeah, so Westmoreland Intermediate Unit, there will be no report tonight, but the next WIU committee meeting will be held Tuesday, October 22nd at 7 p.m. at the Fred Rogers Room at their Donahue Road campus. That concludes the WIU.
Thank you, Mr. Tillman. Mr. Recco, do you want to take the EWCTC Joint Operating Committee?
Yes, ask the board to move on resolution 90, of course, Dr. Ron Laughlin is the representative on the joint committee for EWCTC.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes as listed.
Next EWCTC Joint Operating Committee meeting will be Wednesday, October 23rd, 7 o'clock at Tech. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Rucka. For board policy, I ask the board to move on resolution 91, notice of intent to adopt the board policies listed below.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes as listed. For transportation, Mr. Merlone, music.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ask the board to approve resolution number 92, which is to approve an additional 24-25 DMJ Transportation School bus van driver by the name of John McElmanny, pending submission of all satisfactory taxes.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes. Going into technology, there is no report this evening. Then going into superintendent's recommendations. Yeah, we had a technology meeting earlier tonight, so if you have an agenda, please ignore the Tuesday, October 15th note. Then going into superintendent's recommendations, Mr. Grunka.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've asked the board to move on resolution number 93 to approve resignations as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution
I've
passes.
asked the board to move on resolution number 94 to approve professional personnel substitute teachers as listed.
So moved. Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution
I've asked
passes.
the board to move on resolution number 95 to approve support personnel classified appointments as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
I've asked the board to move on resolution number 96 to approve school clubs, officers, and advisors as attached to the 24-25 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
Ask the board to move on resolution number 97 to approve changes to the board meeting calendar. This is moving the reorganization meeting from December the 10th to December the 5th at 6:30, and combining the committee of the whole and the regular meeting on December the 10th, and eliminating the meeting on Tuesday, December the 17th.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
In other business, there are a list of things going on, as I said last week. October the 28th is the end of the first quarter, followed by a late start on Tuesday. You see parent-teacher conferences and another Act 80 Day coming up for teachers. Veterans Day, obviously, we're closed. The first trimester ends on November the 19th, followed by a late start on the 20th. An early dismissal before Thanksgiving. Yes, we were talking about Thanksgiving already, through Monday, December the 2nd, and school will resume on the 3rd. Just a note for our board members and those in attendance, we have only one meeting in November. That's on Tuesday, November the 19th at 7 p.m. here in the CSC. Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Krupke. I will now open the floor up for hearing of visitors part 2. This is where anyone in the audience can come forward with any concerns they have. Please state your name and address when you step up to the podium. There is a 3-minute time limit.
You guys just go to 5 minutes. I'll probably only have to do this once, but Josh Cunningham, Marguerite Lake Road. You live in the same world I do, so I know that when we do get this contract done, no matter what it says, because you're the school board, people are going to stop you in Walmart and go, I can't believe you did that, blah, 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 my taxes are going to go up. I'm going to give you a couple more numbers, okay? And these are ways to dispel the myths when we start talking about dollars and cents. Number one, PSEA put out their 22-23 average salary in the state. It was $74,945. Now you say, that's a really good salary. That's a lot of money. Did you know if we adjust that number for inflation, it's actually 16.5% lower buying power than teachers had in 1995 and 96. 23-24, the average starting salary in the state of Pennsylvania was just over $50,000. Ours is less than that. Same idea, if adjusted for inflation, it is 12.5% lower than a teacher made in 95 and 96. Right now, 22-23 school year, this is from the Associated Press, PA had a 7.7% attrition rate, highest ever in our state. We are losing teachers at a record pace. 9,600 teachers left the profession 2 years ago. Could be retirement, but it also could be people leaving. We only had 5,000 teachers certified last year. I noticed tonight, one of my big fears, and I've talked about this specifically, we lost another science teacher. Now, I don't know why, but again, I'm concerned about that our highest skilled, highest demanding teachers, we seem to be losing one a month. And then, so you say, well, maybe people are just leaving. Well, the RAND Research Reports did a 2023 State of the American Teacher Survey. The average American teacher works 53 hours per week. That's including outside of school time. This is on average 20% more time than people with similar degrees. When asked, why would you consider leaving the profession? The number 2 answer, 60% of teachers said, because my salary is too low. We are some of the most overeducated, underpaid employees out there. When you start arguing about dollars and cents, when you start arguing with people at Walmart, remember some of these things, because they are valid concerns. The final thing I'm concerned about, I know how negotiations go. I've sat on negotiation teams. It was shocking to me this week that somebody said to me, I hope this doesn't affect my senior. And right now it doesn't feel that way, right? It's October. I understand how these things work. But as it drags on, things happen. So let's get this contract done. Let's stop arguing about, what is probably minuscule in terms of overall payment.
Any other community comment? I see nobody, so I move for the adoption of Resolution 98, adjournment. All in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, this meeting is adjourned.